guys, Logan here, and welcome back to my MCU reviews. I'm going to be covering every MCU film slash installment from Phase 1 to Phase 2, leading up to the Black Panther, Avengers Infinity War, and Ant-Man and the Wasp. And I already covered Iron Man as well as Black Panther, which came out more than a month ago, I believe. So for today's MCU review, I'm going to be reviewing The Incredible Hulk. And it stars Edward Norton, Liv Tyler, Tim Roth, and William Hurt, and more. This is, in fact, the second MCU film to be made inside the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it's about Bruce Banner / the Hulk, played by Edward Norton. And he's on a quest to find a cure of some sorts for all the, radiation that turns him into the Hulk. And he couldn't do that because he couldn't have help from this guy by the name of Mr. Blue, because he didn't have all the data that he needed to help him with Edward Norton's character Bruce Banner wants to help make the cure. So let's get into what I really thought about this film. I've watched this film about a few times after it was released in theaters back in like a decade ago, because it came out in 2008, and I can almost remember every single scene that was in this movie, and that is very rare because I thought this movie was just fine. It was a decent movie to watch. It's not really a terrible movie, but it's also not a really great movie, to say the least. There are some things in there that I like and some other things that I didn't. So let's get into the good things. Edward Norton, he was okay. He's more like the serious, focusing at the moment type of character, and doesn't want to be distracted and all that other stuff. Just wants to get things done and don't want to take a break from doing that until it's already over. He's kind of like that type of character. And I can totally see why, but he was just okay to me. He was fine. I just didn't really like him as much as I like Mark Ruffalo as the character of Bruce Banner. Liv Tyler was also just okay. She was okay at certain scenes. The scenes with Edward Norton and Liv Tyler, some of them were pretty emotional. I will give the film that. Tim Roth also did an okay job. He played good as the villain. He was sent by William Hurt's character to go after Bruce Banner. And within the first and second acts of the movie, you really bought into him as a villain, getting to get him for William Hurt's character. And then he became the Abomination, which I will talk about in just a minute or two. But as a villain, he did good. Only when he's still a villain, or no, actually a human rather. I was going to say when he's still a human. So let's get on with that. Let's talk about this version of Hulk. It looks way better than 2003's version of Hulk. This Hulk looked much more like Hulk, and not just because of what he looks like facially, but because of his a big buff body and muscles and all that other stuff. You can really see that is actually the Hulk. The action sequences were pretty serviceable. They weren't like some of the best action scenes within the entire universe of Marvel, but they were pretty serviceable. They are better than at least some in some MCU films. The story kind of got a little bit off course at certain points, and what I mean by that is you can see that the story for this movie is kind of understandable to see, especially when you're watching this movie. And there were like certain scenes where the story for this film just stops, and then shows some subplots that some of them kind of need to be in the movie. Others kind of don't need to be in the movie all that much. Just stuff like that kind of, you know, like, made me go like, what? And the last fight scene between the Hulk and the Abomination, while I do like it, and thought it was just as serviceable as many other previous action scenes throughout the first half of the film, it got abrupt for me. There were like a few, not too much shaky cam, but there's a bit of shaky cam in there from this fight scene, especially with all the scenes that have the Abomination in it. You know, showing all of the scenes with the Abomination being pretty abrupt. And I pretty much wasn't a big fan of that. I guess my biggest gripe with this movie was it kind of took itself a little bit too serious, and that I didn't think it needed to be all that serious that it needed. The action scenes, they were entertaining, but they were not like, you know, there weren't like very much scenes where the humor kind of kicks in, especially with Mr. Blue, which he tries to come off as funny, but I mean at a couple of scenes, but they just didn't pull that off very well for me. So yeah, I would say that my overall biggest issue with this film is that it took itself too seriously, and I'm not a big fan of that. You can be serious and also have some funny moments. Not too much, just some funny moments. In this film, I feel like had only one or two scenes where the humor kicks in. Just two attempts I could find in this film, and none of them really stood out for me, and that was really disappointing. But other than that, this film was not bad at all. I'm not saying this is like a terrible film to watch and pretty much an unwatchable film to watch. You can watch this movie if you are like either a fan of like the Hulk, which I don't think you might love this movie nor like it, but you can kind of be okay with watching this film. And for other people who had not read the comics like myself, they can still watch this film and just be okay with it. And that's what The Incredible Hulk felt like as a whole film. And for that reason alone, just it being an average movie to watch, I'm going to give The Incredible Hulk a silver medal of honor. So anyway guys, that is my review for The Incredible Hulk. My next review in my MCU series is going to be for Iron Man 2. And it will be up on March 5th if I remember correctly. So be on the lookout for that review when it comes up. If you guys enjoyed my review for The Incredible Hulk, please click the like button. If you enjoyed what you've seen here and you want to see future videos from me, please press up there to subscribe to my channel and turn on that notification bell. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great week, Battle Squad, and as always, fight the good fight. Peace!